Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for Mid-American Gardener. I'm your host, Tinisha Spain. So happy that you could join us tonight. We are live, so we've got a lot to cover, a lot of show and tells and your questions and hopefully your phone calls. But first, let's have our panelists who are here tonight introduce themselves and tell you a little bit more about their specialty and what they're into. So Chuck, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, I'm Chuck Voigt, and I retired at the end of 2015, which seems like a lot. Don't be applauding the fact that I retired.
I'm happy for you.
Well, that's true.
More time to garden.
It certainly has gone fast since then. But my specialties then officially were vegetables and herbs. But through most of the food crops, I can kind of cover things, and I had a pretty well-rounded undergraduate education, so we can also look at ornamentals and some other things if we need to. But food crops are my wheelhouse.
Jam. Got it. Okay. All right. Next.
Hi, my name is Kelly Allsup, and I am a horticulture educator for University of Illinois Extension based out of Bloomington. My background is greenhouse management, but my specialty within this latest career is integrated pest management. I love talking about all things insects, but can talk about the houseplants.
Okay.
For sure.
And last but not least.
I'm John Bodensteiner. I'm a Vermilion County Master Gardener, and I guess if it's green and growing in my yard, I like it. There's not too many plants that I don't like. I've got probably one of almost everything in my yard. Even things I shouldn't have, but like zone 7, zone 8. But
Oh, we thought you were talking about something else.
oh no.
Just kidding. Nobody show up at John's house with a flashlight. Okay. Well, on that note, let's go ahead and jump in. So, Chuck, you have a special question that came in just for you. This is from, let's see, Manuel from Northern Illinois. Says, hello, Chuck. Your advice last year to plant, oh boy.
Ailsa Craig.
Thank you very much. Ailsa Craig onion from seed really paid off big. Many of my friends are trying it this year after my success. Any suggestion on the main summer vegetable crops? I would love to know what you would plant in your summer vegetable garden if you lived in Northern Illinois. Thank you, Manuel.
Well, you're welcome, Manuel. It's gratifying to know that somebody A, listened, and then B, that it worked out.
Yeah.
So that's good. So we send stuff out and we never know where it lands or how it works. So what else to grow? First, there's a Kelsey giant onion, which I think even gets bigger than Ailsa Craig. But if you go online, you can see pictures of the mainly English people growing them for competitions. The record for Kelsey giant is 16 pounds, 8.5 ounces,
Holy cow.
which is a scary onion in my. But I haven't seen them in a catalog or on a seed rack anywhere, but there's several sources listed. If you go online and just Google Kelsey, Kelsae, giant onion. Other things I might suggest that you would want to start yourself and grow. Some of the new hybrid Savoy cabbages, you can't usually go into a garden center and find Savoy seedlings, and if you did, it would probably be one of the older ones that takes 100 days or longer to mature. Some of the hybrids are right there with the early to mid-season regular green cabbages. Savoy has crinkly leaves, a little more airspace inside. It seems to have more flavor. I was reading today, it actually has less of the sulfurous stuff that makes it really stink when you cook it. And it's just not something, once in a blue moon you can find a little head at some of the big box stores around here, but Savoy cabbage is something you really need to start and grow early or start in late summer and fall is when it would really do great. One I've talked about before is gill feather turnip. It's really a hybrid between a turnip and a rutabaga, so it has smooth glossy foliage like a rutabaga. But it tastes more like a really mild turnip. Plus, the tops are extremely edible and tender. So it's like having kale and turnips and rutabagas all on this one plant. Again, that's something you would plant probably July to grow into the fall, and you probably wouldn't do very well with it in the spring because it just takes too long to mature. Sugar cube muskmelon I've talked about. It's a 2.5 pound one. It's a little bigger than a softball and a little smaller than a 16-inch softball. I was reading about that today. The bricks on that was 14%, so just extremely sweet. Has really good disease resistance, and doesn't overwhelm you when you bring it in to try to eat it. 2 people could conceivably eat one at one setting and not have digestive consequences. Yellow Doll watermelon, one of my favorites.
Oh, I love those.
Really thin rind, so it's not one that's going to ship. You can't find them very often in the store. It has slightly smaller vines, and it's a bit earlier. So in northern Illinois, I think that would be a really good watermelon to try to grow. They can get about the size of a football or so. Melting, almost fiber-free flesh. It was really, really good. One that I really liked when it was in the trials was Harvest Moon.
Yes.
A seedless watermelon.
Yeah, I like those.
It was really the only seedless watermelon that I've ever grown and loved. The downfall of that one is the seeds are so expensive. It can be $1 a seed or more, and I haven't had real good luck getting them to fruition the last couple of years, but part of that's been weather and other things. And then I think the last time I was here, I was talking about leeks.
We did.
They're great. You can start them indoors here in midwinter and transplant them in April and do the whole rigmarole and get leeks as big as my wrist and do that. Or you can just wait, direct seed them. They don't get as much white part, but they're a lot less work and still taste great like leeks. So those are some of my recommendations. So hopefully Manuel and his friends will have even more to write back about next year.
Okay.
Oh, hey, can you email me that list?
I know John was over here taking notes too.
Because
Name that seed
if
again.
you recommend them, I'm growing them.
See, that's a great endorsement.
This would be a great article,
Just another
too.
reminder, we are live, so we would love you to call in and ask Chuck some more of your questions. Well, everybody, not just Chuck, because we don't want to give him a big head. So 333-3495 is the number to give us a call and ask your questions of the panel. All right, you're up, Miss Allsup.
So I'm just talking about something trendy. I just started an Instagram account in the past year. I'm U of I Hort nerd, and so on this Instagram account, really, I'm not popular, but I am following all these amazing other Instagram accounts, and it's like every time I turn around, there's some house plant that I have to have, and I feel like Instagram is like feeding this house plant craze. So one of the ones that has been just all over my Instagram account is tree philodendron. I actually have called it Salome in the past. That's part of the scientific name. It's a tropical, it's a fairly big plant. It's really, really kind of tough too. So if you're not, you want something big and showy, but not the best at taking care of houseplants, this might be one of your best go-tos. It likes the bright light. Water when dry, it prefers, 60 to 80 degrees, but doesn't really like temperature extremes. So maybe not right up against a window or right next to a heater event. Sometimes it can be a little bit sensitive to salts. So you just keep that, if you feel like it might not be so happy, maybe you can let the water sit out for 24 hours before you actually feed it, but before you water it, excuse me. But
is that related to Monstera?
Well, they're philodendrons, yes.
Okay.
And this Monstera, maybe a cultivar of tree philodendron, maybe not.
Okay.
But in the same genus, for
I
sure.
I just wondered.
I thought it was Monstera deliciosa.
Oh, it is. Sorry.
Okay.
I need Chuck.
We all need
So
Chuck.
they're not in the same genus. Excuse me.
Okay.
But they're they kind of grow in the
They
same
do.
way.
They're
They're
tropical sort of
tropicals.
looking, yeah.
And I really want to go buy one of these tree philodendrons from my house now, but I don't really have a lot of room for some reason.
I know. It's a problem, isn't it? Yes. That's when you just need to buy a bigger house.
Oh,
knock
is
a
that
wall
the
out.
solution?
Knock a wall out. Make a sunroom. Okay. Mr. Bodensteiner, we are to you.
Okay.
What are we talking? Asparagus
Yes,
propagation?
yes.
All right, so we have a question. This is Dan from Aurora. Aurora, impressive. We're making bounds here. What are your thoughts on growing asparagus in containers? First, is it possible, and will they survive Chicago winters? Thank you from Dan in Aurora.
Okay, I have good news and I have bad news.
Okay. Can I help you with anything?
One thing is, this is the size pot you're going to need. And as you can see, I'm kind of small compared to, hi Tanisha.
Hello.
They're saying that this is the size pot. And I'm going to put this down, but I want to show something. They're saying you need good drainage, and they're actually saying to drill a hole on the side, on opposite sides, so it doesn't matter where, as long as there's 2 holes on opposite sides of the bottom of the pot. Because I think what they're thinking is if there's drain holes in the bottom and they freeze up, these here will probably drain out a little bit better. So again, this is the size pot that you're going to need. Now,
What is that, 2 bushels or what?
this is 20 gallon. So the size of the pot really matters. Usually 1 plant per pot. That one, I did see some people putting 3 or 4 plants per pot, but they said their production was going to be decreased. 20 by 20 inches wide, 20 inches deep is the minimum. This is just a little bit bigger than that. Plastic containers are preferred. They don't break, they're not as heavy. And plus they hold the moisture in. Some of the other pots will seep moisture out the side during the hot parts of the summer. And others will chip during the winter. So the plastic ones are best. On the bottom of it, you're going to fill it with a moisture barrier, not a moisture barrier, but a netting to hold insects and varmints out. And then you're going to put some gravel, some types of shards, different broken pots and things on the bottom. And then you're going to fill it to about 1/3. And then you're going to put a whole bunch, like 2 or 3 cups full of phosphorus. And that's because they are asparagus are heavy feeders as far as, and you're growing, you want the heavy roots. The soil, don't go out to I know it's a big pot, but you're going to need a big bag of soil. You're going to need, the potting mix. Mix it with peat moss, compost, perlite, vermiculite, and that will help hold the moisture kind of at a constant level. pH 6.5 to 7.5. Don't guess. Go get it measured. Test it. You may have to add a little lime or sulfur depending on what you need. But that phosphorus is what's really important, that bottom third. And just don't sprinkle out. Mix it in. Okay, seeds or crowns? That's the next question. I did some seeds. This is Mary Washington. It took me about over 2 years just to get something I put in the garden, and they were very small. I'm on my 4th year now, and I'm hoping to get some to pick this year. I know, Tanisha.
That's devastating. That's the reason I won't grow it, because I can't wait.
It's much cheaper. If you get crowns, make sure you get a minimum of 2-year-old crowns. If you're going to germinate the seeds, they germinate best at around 77 degrees. Once you get this pot filled with soil, you're going to dig a hole in it 8 inches deep. You're going to make a little pyramid of soil in the middle. You're going to spread the root crowns or the roots of the crown around it, and then fill it. And it's going to be still a couple inches below the top of the pot, but that's okay because the soil is going to continue to sink. That crown is going to continue to grow up, and you're going to just keep adding soil, compost, manure, nutrients, and so that's important. And care, do not overwater. They do not like too much water. Keep moist but not wet. Side dress. Watch for beetles. They do like beetles tend to attack the container once more. Clean off all the debris once they're October. Cut everything to the ground. Don't pick the 1st year, the 2nd year, 3rd year, and then 4th year you can. And do you cut or break? I prefer breaking. You're going to get less, but you're going to have less damage to the crown. and he's in Chicago, Aurora. Unfortunately, that big pot is going to have to be either mulched with a whole big pile of mulch or moved to an unheated garage.
Okay. Well, you have more than enough information.
May I say
Absolutely.
something?
Go for it.
He's a master gardener, so he's going to find the challenge and he's going to do all this work. I don't know if I would necessarily put my efforts into growing asparagus in a container.
I wouldn't either.
I think that there are a lot of other crops that you could grow. Obviously, Chuck is here. I'd grow eggplant. I mean, you plant an eggplant, you have tons of produce. I'd grow herbs,
Zucchini,
I'd grow
peas.
spinach.
Yes.
I'd grow radishes.
And you can eat those right away.
I'd grow all that before I'd try to grow asparagus.
And
I'm very food motivated.
if you do want
Sorry.
some more information on asparagus, we both watched a Small Farms webinar. It's going to be available. Just go to the extension site. And we found out that Pacific Purple is a purple, and it seemed to produce more than anything.
So you said I needed to buy a bigger house
just knock the
to
wall
have
out.
more houseplants. He needs to buy a house that has a garden that he can put his asparagus in.
There you go. All right, we're going to the calls now. We've got Dan in Effingham with a question about starting walnut and persimmon trees. Dan, go ahead.
Yes, I got some walnuts, and I picked them up last fall. They've been in the garage all winter. I just want to know what's the best time of year to plant them, how deep to plant it. Should I take the outer shell off? Also, I got some persimmons. They're in the fruit form yet, you know. Should I just plant them while they're in the fruit form, or should I take the seed out of there and plant them, and how deep, and what time of the year is the best?
Okay, let's start with walnuts. What's your advice on that?
I
Out of
do like the
shell?
squirrels. As soon as they drop, I'd peel that, and they're turned black and they're kind of ripe. I take that outer layer off. I would not crack them. I would just dig a hole about 3-4 inches deep and put them in the ground and forget them until I maybe mark them, because otherwise you may mow them over in the spring when they come up. They may not be recognizable, but I've got them coming up everywhere, and I haven't planted a single one.
Anything else to add?
As soon as possible after they're ripe. If they've been sitting that long, I'm not sure. A lot of nuts lose their viability once they dry out. So
yeah, these are still moist, and you can peel that outer.
Right.
Okay. All right. Persimmons?
Persimmons,
Do they take the
they need a stratification.
stratification?
So in the fall, get them in the ground. Probably take them out of the fruit, although it would probably rot around it. And my understanding is the first year they mainly put down a root.
Are they kind of like pawpaws?
I
I think
think
if
so.
you want to, if you have them still, and it's kind of late to put them in the ground now, but I would take some peat moss, get it nice and damp, put your seeds in there, put it in the refrigerator, and you're going to notice. Make sure it doesn't dry out, and then you're going to notice, like Chuck said, the roots are going to come out. You're not going to see any top until you actually go plant them. Be very, very careful with that root, because once that root is gone,
That's a wrap.
it's a wrap. Yep.
Okay. All right, next call. We're going to Shelley in Savoy with a question about raspberries. Shelley, go ahead.
Hi, I planted a bunch of raspberries 2 years ago, and I got raspberries this second year, but not very many. And somebody told me I'm supposed to prune them back. How do I know which ones to prune back?
The canes are biennial, and so after they fruit, it dies and it gets very brittle. So if you go out there like in winter and usually just lean on it, it'll break off. If not, you can tell the difference between the bright color of the one that grew last year and the one that died the year before that. So the other thing is, if they're the kind that bear raspberries in the fall, you want to leave the new canes will bloom at the tips. It's called primal canes, and that will bear down a ways, and then as they freeze, that'll stop, and then from there up will die. And so in the spring, if you want them to go ahead and do a early summer crop, you can cut that off, and it'll go ahead and do that, or you can just take it off at the ground at that point and just have them in the fall. But in terms of regular June-bearing raspberries or whatever, the old canes tell you which ones are dead because they're dead.
Yeah, it's easy to see which ones are.
All right. Let's see. We've got Betty and Fithian with a question about identifying flowers. Go ahead, Betty.
Yes, I wanted to know about these. They're little flowers that grow on a little stalk, but they lay on the ground. They don't have leaves on them, but they're like red, yellow, white.
Okay. Can you just give them a little bit more to go on? Are they small, large? Do they
They're
vine?
just little small flowers, but it grows right across the ground. They spread out across the ground. You just put the seeds on top of the ground, and they go down, but they'll grow across it. And I have an area between my house and my garage that I'd like to put them, but I don't know the name of them.
When do they bloom?
I think they bloom all summer long.
Sometimes it's hard for us to identify plants by description. We all battle with it sometimes. Maybe take a picture and send it to your local master gardener help desk, and they'd be more than happy to identify it for you. Sometimes that's what we have to do, is just say take a picture, because it's sometimes hard by a description.
Okay, we're going to Clay and Mattoon with a question about periwinkle and, somebody help me out.
Pachysandra.
Thank you. Hi, Clay, go ahead.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, I've got an area that had an ash tree in it that's come down, and it's going to be sunnier. And so I'm just kind of wondering, what's the best ground cover that would grow fast, that wouldn't be affected by tree roots? I prefer Pachysandra, but I think periwinkle, or what people call, I think they call it vinca or something like that, might be better. Just wanted your opinion, or any other ground cover that you think wouldn't be too invasive like ivy, but that would grow fast.
So is this going to be a full sun area now?
I think it's
It's on the south side of the house, but it'll be partly shady.
Okay.
I personally am not a fan of periwinkle, just because it's considered a landscape invasive. I do like Pachysandra better. I just think it's prettier throughout the winter too.
Gives you some height, well, of course
And I think Pachysandra would grow in part sun. Okay. But my favorite, kind of shady ground cover is wild ginger.
That's very pretty.
I'm really into St. John's wort ground cover lately.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to go to Jill in Toledo with a question about soil recommendation. Go ahead, Jill.
Yes, we're going to start putting in raised vegetable beds this spring, and was just wondering recommendations for soil. I mean, just soil itself, or with peat moss, or just whatever you suggested.
If you want to amend the soil, probably it helps with drainage and some other issues. Ideally, I would say you can use up to 50% of the soil that's there, and then add peat moss or one of the peat moss substitutes, or compost if you can find it, to just kind of lighten it up and raise your organic matter content.
If you've got a friend that has horses or something where you can get some composted manure, that would be wonderful to work in.
Right, and if you can, double dig it as you're making them, so that it's aerated down to shovel depths, which will in itself will fluff it up quite a bit.
Okay. We have raised beds at a community garden in Bloomington, and we call ISU up and have them deliver a truck full of compost, and that's how we fill up our raised beds.
Okay.
And you'll have to keep filling those, because compost does deteriorate.
We've got 2 minutes left, so do you guys want to go halvesies on your show and tells? Do you want to talk about your wreath that you brought?
Yeah, last time I was here, Dr. Skirvin was here, and we were talking about pruning grape vines. And what we didn't say was what you can do with the vines after you prune them off. Because, as he said, when you get things going, you're going to be pruning off 85% of each year's growth, because they only bear on what grew last year, and you want to keep that kind of close to home. Otherwise, each year it's 6 to 8 feet further from where you planted the plant. So you're going to end up taking off a lot of material.
So why not use it?
And
Will those keep for a while?
Yeah, I think this one's probably been in my back room for about 15 years, if I'm not
Okay, so
mistaken.
yes.
You know, and then if you have artistic talent, or if you know somebody like Kelly who's had the benefit of floral design class at the University of Illinois, you can do all sorts of things to shape this up, or just hang it on the barn door. It's kind of rustic, just as it
like
is.
Wabi sabi.
Yeah, and if you're out pruning them in midwinter, which is kind of when we start doing it, they might be a little brittle, but bring them in, let them warm up overnight, and then they're going to be much more pliable, and you can do this. There's not a wire or a tie in any of that. I just wove it in among itself, and it's held together for all these years. A little bit of the bark is peeling off, but other than that,
Waste not, want not.
exactly.
Right.
Okay, we've got about a minute. What do you got? Who wants to talk? Who wants
Go
to
for it.
Okay.
What can you do
Bring
in a
us
minute?
home, John.
What I
Bring us
brought,
home.
I brought some 2 weeks ago. I talked about propagation, so I just thought I'd bring something else. I brought
30 seconds.
snake plant, and what you do to propagate it, you just take one of the old leaves, cut it off, stick it in a pot, and wait for about 6 weeks, and pretty soon you'll see a new plant come. This one was variegated. They never come variegated. Another thing I brought just to show was some plants that we're growing hydroponically.
Ooh.
This is bok choy. You can see that's
stuff.
got good roots, and a little tiny basil plant. So I have lots more, but we're out of time.
We're out of time. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and we will be here. Well, not these guys, but I'll be here next week, and we'll see you then. Find us on our socials, Instagram, Facebook, or drop us a line on Gmail, and we'll try to get those questions answered for you. Have a great night.